In the previous module, we shared a scary statistic. According to the CDC, surgical site infections complicate an estimated 500,000 operations each year, and healthcare-acquired infections are the sixth leading cause of death in the United States, killing almost twice as many people as breast cancer and HIV combined. Those numbers remind us why effectively monitoring the sterilization process is vital. We sterilize surgical instruments to get rid of pathogenic microorganisms, and since sterility cannot be seen, the only way to be confident a device is sterile is to rely on the results of a comprehensive quality assurance program. A comprehensive quality assurance program includes the use of chemical and biological indicators and physical monitors. Let's start with the physical monitors, which are the printouts, displays, and gauges on the outside of a sterilizer that you observe to verify sterilization parameters have been met. Chemical indicators, or CIs, respond to physical conditions inside of a chamber. CIs are used to monitor the presence or attainment of one or more of the parameters required for a satisfactory sterilization process. For steam, those parameters are time, temperature, and water delivered as saturated steam. CIs utilize either reactive ink technology, better known as color change indicators, or tablet technology, in which a chemical melts in response to steam and temperature and wicks down a paper path, better known as moving front technology. Internal CIs are used to verify that the steam has penetrated deep inside the pack or container. External CIs are placed on each pack or tray to distinguish processed from unprocessed load items. And a biological indicator, BI, is a monitoring device that contains viable microorganisms and provides a defined resistance to a specified sterilization process. A steam BI contains at least 100,000 highly resistant spores. When those spores are killed during the sterilization process, it confirms conditions are sufficient to kill lower levels of less resistant microorganisms. Microorganisms like those on adequately cleaned surgical instruments, which typically carry less than 1,000 microorganisms. These vegetative pathogens are serious, yet more easily destroyed than the 100,000 plus highly resistant spores in a BI. BIs contain actual living organisms. In the case of steam, hydrogen peroxide gas plasma, and ozone sterilization, Geobacillus stereothermophilus is the name of that organism and is one tough bug. This thermophile is widely distributed in soil, hot springs, and ocean sediment, so it is no stranger to the hot heat. Because this type of spore is so highly resistant to disinfection and sterilization, it is the perfect candidate to go inside of a BI. Under adverse conditions, this little guy is a spore former. That is, it is able to go dormant and form a shell which increases its resistance to sterilization and disinfection processes. Testing to ensure this tough bug is dead provides the assurance that pathogenic microorganisms have been destroyed. So while a physical indicator can visually give the first sign of a sterilizer failure, and a chemical indicator can tell you a lot about time, temperature, and the presence of steam, neither can measure lethality like a biological indicator can. Assurance really does come down to the kill. Similar to engineering standards for buildings, bridges, aviation, and other industries, the sterilization process is built with safety margins, so that explains why BIs can be killed in less than a full steam sterilization exposure time. And BI inactivation during the early phases of the sterilization cycle does not mean it offers less assurance. It actually indicates sufficient lethality has been delivered. As explained in the CDC guideline for disinfection and sterilization in healthcare facilities, biological indicators are recognized by most authorities as being closest to the ideal monitors of the sterilization process, and BIs are the only process indicators that directly monitor the lethality of a given sterilization process. Every pack and every load that enters the sterilizer is different and brings with it its own complexities due to the variety of packaging materials and device types and quantity. From a poorly packed load to a residual air or poor steam quality, many things can go wrong inside your sterilizer. The only way to know for sure that the sterilizer is working is to monitor at every stage of the process. Because things can happen in the sterilizer, it is important to monitor the process. But how often? AMI and AORN suggest you use a BI to challenge your sterilization process weekly, but preferably daily. Additionally, the CDC, AMI, and AORN recommend BI monitoring of all loads containing implantable devices. As a best practice, many healthcare facilities monitor every load with a BI PCD to minimize the risk that a non-sterile device will be used during surgical procedures. Please do your part to ensure the instruments used on patients are not the cause of a healthcare-acquired infection, because patients and their families shouldn't have to worry about whether the instruments used on their body are sterile. You have a very important role in your healthcare organization. When it comes to monitoring, we want you to be certain you are doing everything in your power to reduce infection rates by releasing loads in which you are 100% confident.